Welcome back everyone to Pontus Fathom Hobbies. This is our Season 6 of Cthulhu Death May Die. It's turn 1. We just finished setup and our game will be the Season 1 Episode 6, Unspeakable Horror. This is the last game from the main game box. So we've got Unspeakable Horror ready to go and set up. It says a creepy research station, mirrors everywhere. That doesn't explain why the moon is changing phases every few minutes. Cultists doing their dumb thing. But if we can direct moonlight into the dome using the mirrors, yes, that should work. That's pretty cool. I like it. I like the premise. As you guys know, the past month we've had a poll. We've played and painted every character in the game, but Lizzie, Borden, and Rasputin were the winners to play this last game of Season 1. I think in January we're going to start working our way through Cthulhu Death May Die Season 2, and there's a whole set of 10 new investigators there. I have not painted those yet, so we'll also paint them as we go along and do those painting videos. Next up, I'm really excited to play, first time playing the Black Goat is our big bad in this episode, and Black Goat, we have a painting video that you guys can go check out as well. He is quite impressive and really had fun painting this one, so I'm excited to see the gameplay with him. So the only thing I have to do is set up here is to hand out the sanitarium cards, the patient medical file. So let's see what our investigators get stuck with this time. So we'll shuffle these up and maybe just randomly split the deck a few times. And we get for Borden, recurring trauma. She has a recurring trauma card. And for Rasputin, paranoia. Wow, okay, so those will be pretty good to play through. You guys both know the Borden character. Borden's quote is, "Two things are certain in life, death and axes," and Rasputin sighed, dead again. The close contender for gameplay was the Kid, and I kind of thought it would be cool if the Kid did a matchup with Rasputin because they both have those flame powers. So runner-up, third place was the Kid. She didn't quite make it. We got Borden instead. So let's get right into it. Another thing I'm going to do a little bit different in the game is I'm going to try to get through two game turns in one episode. So right before we start, just quick shout out to August Moldenhauer's Cthulhu Journals out of Lovecraft's Providence, The Genealogy of Cthulhu, Psychoanalysis of Rilya, Archaeology of Yog-Sothoth. Links below. These are selling like hotcakes, and really appreciate your guys' support. Go check those out. We've got the second series. I'll talk about that in the next video. So it's growing into a 6-book series now, but each book is independent. So each volume is a separate sort of Cthulhu research focused around one of the gods. Either in the first trilogy, it's Cthulhu, Rilya, and Yog-Sothoth. So yeah, appreciate you guys checking those out. Also check out our links below. Appreciate your comments below. I read the comments. I'll respond to your comments. So my goal here is if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to start to try to do a live streaming of games and maybe upgrade the setup a bit here so I can have a multi-camera setup. I'd like to be able to see the miniatures as well as the top view. So I'm going to up the game if I get once I get some interest. So I've got these Unspeakable Hour discovery cards I'm going to shuffle in, and then let's get right into turn 1. So we'll start out with our investigator turns, and first investigator here will be Borden. So let's do a quick read through of what the Unspeakable Hour factors are. So we read this already, the creepy research station. But if we can direct the moonlight into the dome using the mirrors, that would work. So two of our actions that we can do are, one, adjust mirrors, move a moonlight not a shadow token. So here's the moonlight, not shadow. That's the shadow token. That's a moonlight token. Move a moonlight token within one space of you to another space within one space of you. So basically we can push, adjust mirror so we can push these to another space. So that's one. And then there's also the moon magic, which is the moon phase. So to disrupt the ritual, have all 3 moonlight shadows on the observatory dome during the full moon. So during a full moon. So we have to wait for that first full moon. And if we can have them the first time, otherwise we have to advance. And the first quarter, turn 2, moonlight tokens into shadow tokens. Then we advance the new moon, turn all moonlight tokens into shadow tokens. Then we have turn 2 shadow tokens into moonlight tokens. And then finally, full moon. Okay? And we have to push those so that they're all in the observation dome. Right? So that's our deal. Okay, so, and I think we can push those via the stair, I guess, or do we push them into here? Yeah, guys, let me know. I think if we push them into here, this is the dome. I think we just have to push them in this room, and that's the dome above, right? And then once they're here, we can push them up to the top dome, I believe, something like that, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's put this back. We'll adjust the... where did I put it? The small moon token. We'll find it in a second. Okay, let's get into it. So, Borden first. She will... Well, she has the ability to... she can run 1 additional space. But I think she's just going to go right in there and attack them. Why not? It seems her style to just run in and attack. So Borden goes first. She will go ahead and move 1 into the room, and then she's just going to go right ahead and start attacking. So let's get into it. So she gets to roll the 3 dice to start. She's got a cultist and a ghoul. So let's see how she does. Okay, she gets 2 attacks, so that cultist already down. 1, and let's have her third action be another attack on the ghoul. Ghoul also has 2. Okay, so she rolls a 1, but let's have her take a stress and re-roll 1 die. Let's have her take 1 more stress and re-roll again. She gets a tentacle. Okay, so she just does 1 damage on the ghoul. We can move this one back to the pool. That's her, will be her turn. Okay, so next up is the draw Mythos card. So I don't know if I've shuffled these, but let me shuffle them 1 more time. So while we're shuffling these, Lizzie's powers are Savage, Swiftness, and Stealth. Rasputin's powers are Unkillable, Arcane Mastery, and Brawling. So we can kind of get into those. So cut these. We'll draw our first Mythos card up here. And we get a ghoul. The nearest ghoul moves 2 spaces toward you. Well, this is the nearest ghoul, so let's have him move here. And that should be fine. And... let's go ahead and go to the next phase, which is Investigator Fight. She cannot get an investigation card because there's this ghoul with one health left in the room. So we'll have the ghoul go ahead and attack. So the ghoul rolls these dice and gets 1 hit on Borden. When attacking, you may deal 1 additional wound to your target if there are no other enemies in its space. Oh, actually, she does have this Savage, right? So she actually dealt 1 extra wound to this ghoul, who is now expired. So she can draw an investigation card. So let's have her draw a discovery card. And she gets the Wandering Assistant. The night astronomer hasn't been the same since he opened that package. You may claim the graduate student or discard this card immediately to perform a free Adjust Mirrors action. Oh, let's have her perform a free Adjust Mirrors action. Move a Moonlight Shadow token within one space to you to another space within one space of you. Okay, so now she'll just take this. When you have him, you gain 1 level of swiftness. So let's have her gain 1 level of swiftness. So now her swiftness is technically here. You have 1 free run action each turn with no one following. I suppose that's how it works. Okay, cool. So finally, resolve end of turn. There's no actions for Mythos or anything to happen. So Borden's turn is complete. Let's jump into Rasputin's first turn. So Rasputin also will go 1, 2, and then he will perform move a Moonlight token to within another space within one space. So he can move this to the center room right there right away. So he's in within one space. So that's a move and a well, actually he could have just moved 3. Let's have him move 3 here. He did 1, 2, 3. He moved the token, and let's have him attack. He'll attack this cultist. He may make any roll. 1 star counts as a success. So he gets 2 insanity. Let's give him take a stress and re-roll one of these. Okay, let's have him take 1 more stress and just re-roll 1. Okay, so he takes 2 insanity, and this cultist is complete. So great, he got to move. He got to move the moon, and he will now draw a Mythos card. So Mythos card for Rasputin. Each ghoul moves 3 spaces towards you, but stops if it enters a space with a Moonlight token. Okay, so this ghoul here moves 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, moves toward Lizzie. He stops where there's a moon token. And we now have our second Elder Sign. So we can just keep that in mind there. Make this a pool of tokens here to make it easier. Okay, cool. And then okay, so that was the Mythos card. Let's get an investigator fight. He is alone in his room, so he can go ahead and take a discovery card. Focusing lens. You may discard this card when performing an Adjust Mirrors action to move the Moonlight token 2 spaces. Within 2 spaces of you instead of within 1 space. And take 2 stress to claim Focusing Lens. Okay, so he'll take 2 stress to claim the Focusing Lens. And he has that. Okay. So that will be, resolving end of turn. Nothing to resolve, I believe. Okay, that's just, we don't have to do that yet. I lost that small moon token already. Can you imagine? I'm sure it's around here somewhere, but we'll find it. Okay, so let's just use a token for now. We'll just use this token until I find it. So we'll keep this token on the moon for now, but I believe it's got to be around here somewhere. It's a very tiny token. I had just put it right here. Must have knocked it on the floor or something. Okay, so I'll look at it. I'll look for it between the turns. Okay, so now we're on turn 2, and we will go ahead with Borden, and she will go ahead and I guess she's going to have to... Let's have her do a free run. She can have one free run action each turn. So she can move in additional space, and a free run means no one will follow her. So she will go 1, 2, and then she will move the token that's one space away from her to here. And that's 1, 2, and then she can move it again. Another adjust mirror. She can move it. That's not within one space for her, so she can't move that one more. So yeah, I think she will stop there, and then maybe she will rest and heal her stress. Okay, so Borden has moved the moon token. She'll rest to heal her stress. And let's go on to the draw Mythos card. So draw Mythos card. They blot out the moon. Any moonlight tokens that have enemies within one space of them turn to shadow tokens. Oh, okay, so these two moon tokens flip to shadow tokens. And this one flips to a shadow token. So all three moon tokens are flipped to shadow tokens. Okay. Alrighty. And then let's go ahead and go to the investigator fight. She is alone in her space, so she can take a discovery card. It says, when a few hours ago you got a strange package containing knives and a mask. You may claim 2 stress to take the physicist or the almanac. When performing a adjust mirrors action, you may move a shadow token instead. Oh, great. I'll take this one. That sounds great. So she can take 2 stress to do that. Perfect. So she has the almanac. She can actually move the shadow tokens. Now, all 3 of them are shadow tokens now. 1, 2, 3. And I believe there's only 3 of them. So I can double check on those as well. Yeah, only 3 moon tokens, not counting the lost counter. There, I'm going to have to sift around on the table to see where that one went. Okay, so next up we have Mythos Phase. Actually, we have to advance the Great Old One. So if you see 3 elder signs, I will shuffle these back into the deck, as we are to do. And the Great Old One, the Black Goat of the Woods, progresses 1 forward, and we move 1 stage 1. And stage 1 says, when the Black Goat advances, summon 1 Dark Young into your space. Deal 1 wound to each figure in each of the figures in your space. So a Dark Young is summoned. Here's one of our Dark Young. And this gets summoned into Lizzie's space, and she's the only person here, so she gets a 1 damage dealt to her. And that's going to be it for Borden's turn 2 phase. Let's go to Rasputin's turn 2. So now Rasputin, he will, I think he'll just move 2 out here, and he will fight this ghoul. He gets a star, so he gets 1 hit. And he gains an extra die. I didn't do this last time. He has brawling as well, so I can roll this die as well. He can count 1 star, and he gets 1 insanity. So he does 1 damage to this ghoul, and let's have him go again, so he can re-roll all these again. 1 more attack. And he gets 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 attacks the ghoul is killed, but he takes another paranoia, and he gets a if there are no enemies in your space, heal all your stress. So his stress is healed from his paranoia condition. That's good luck for him. So that was his three actions. So let's move on to his Mythos card. So we get to draw a new Mythos card, and we get each Dark Young moves 2 spaces towards you. Okay, so he moves 1, 2, and the Dark Young is in the space with him now. And so now the Dark Young can attack him. He does not get to do a discovery card. So let's have the Dark Young attack, which is 1 and 1. So the Dark Young has 3 hit points, but it doesn't have a lot of attack. So we can move these dice here. The Dark Young attacks. It does, let me see what it says here. If wounded but not destroyed, summon another Dark Young into its space. Okay, so it's not wounded yet, but it does 1 damage to Rasputin. So Rasputin has the damage. Okay, so that's going to be that for the attack. Does not get to draw a discovery card. And end of turn effects. That's it for stage 1. So I think that is it. We did have to advance. Whenever the tracker advances, we move this 1 spaces. Turn 2 moonlight tokens into shadow tokens. Well, all of our tokens are already shadow tokens, so no need for us to do an action there. And that is going to be it for turn 2. So thanks for watching, everyone. Tune in to turn 3 and 4 up ahead. I'm going to try to do these in 2-turn groups now, maybe to just change up the dynamic a bit. So hopefully that works for everyone. Thanks for watching. And I think it gets a little bit more momentum that way. So talk to you in turn 3. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.